Today I'm going to read the reviews for Moves Adidas for Men by Adidas on Fragrantica.com. Moves Adidas for Men. Main accords are aromatic, fresh, spicy, green, fruity, woody, fresh, warm, spicy, sweet. Mousse by Adidas is an aromatic fougere fragrance for men. Mousse was launched in 1999. Top notes are tomato leaf, green apple, pineapple, mint, black pepper, mandarin orange, and star anise. Middle notes are juniper berries, musk, lavender, ginger, geranium, jasmine, and cedar. Base notes are thyme, oak moss, sandalwood, and lily of the valley. Shaku Khan said, "Love this, fresh and clean, perfect for summer." Rafrosa said, "This may very well have been the inspiration for Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. The base dry down is extremely similar." Big Blue One said, "A pretty decent dupe of Chrome Mazzaro, but it doesn't hold together as long. But if you like Chrome and want to save some money, Moves will work just fine. The tomato leaf note listed could be the combination of apple, pineapple, and mandarin. Do you really think a cologne marketed to young men would have a tomato leaf in it? Oh well, Adidas Moves is fresh, clean, youthful, energetic, and nice to wear regardless of age, especially in the warm weather." I would disagree and say that the tomato leaf is there. I Don't Like Frags 91 said, "Only reason you'd own this today is if you wore this as a child and want it strictly for nostalgia purposes, and it doesn't smell bad. Really good, actually, but performance is as bad as it was when I was a kid, lol. But I enjoy those 15 minutes of projection and longevity, lol." Alistair Lobo 17 said, "Surprisingly good. However, longevity is horrendous. Can't even smell it on skin or clothes 2 to 3 hours later. Maybe a teensy bit, but barely. For the little time it is there, it doesn't project well. Still a very appealing fresh scent. Clean, aromatic, clean, aquatic, masculine, and rejuvenating. Just wish it lasted longer." JDF said, "I remember this was one of my first frags, middle school days, lol. I remembered I sprayed so much I had a headache and was turned off cologne for a while. This was a very basic, fresh, sour scent gel. An overall C- in all categories. This is basically the tutorial level for the world of scents." SM Mehendi Hassan, "Scent is nice, suitable for young boys only. It's not a performer. Casual wear might be suggested." Vapor Trail said, "Another Adidas fragrance filled with nostalgia. It's cheap, it's basic, and its performance is terrible, but I'll be damned if Moves doesn't bring back a lot of great and not so great memories. By today's standards, this is an incredibly average fragrance, though. I don't find it any more or less synthetic smelling than most contemporary staples. It's fresh in an aromatic way, with lots of fruity notes, but none of them standing out from one another. Tomato leaf seems to be the star player here. Put simply, this is what a high schooler in the early 2000s would wear, but only if his parents didn't want to shell out for a bottle of Aqua di Gio. It's one of the first fragrances that comes to mind as a shower gel type. I still reach for my mini blue bottle when I'm just chilling and don't want to wear anything else. I doubt I'm going to restock on it when I run out, though." Bill Lagon, said, brings back so many great memories. I believe it's the tomato leaf in this that makes it so nice. It's been out for a long time, but you can't say that it's as bad smelling. Easy pickup for a young fella. Jonathan Hines said, this reminds me of my dad's cologne or even my grandpa's. It gives you a clean type of scent. This is mass pleasing, but yeah, just that. Nothing special. Musa Warshami said, awesome fragrance. I love it. Skate for Earth. This was my go-to scent for so long. I got my first bottle in middle school. I'm pretty sure this was my first fragrance. It got me many compliments back in the day. I'm not a real sure what it even smells like anymore, but I do know it smelled clean, fresh, and a little bit sour. I only know this because the scent profile is pretty much all I would wear back then. Brandon R. He said, I've been wearing Adidas Moves for the last several days in a row. Got a whiff of it on my dresser and forgot how much I enjoyed wearing it in the past. Just a happy, youthful, fresh scent that lifts your spirit. Nothing expensive or too complicated, although on some days I get a slight mothballish vibe. Probably the tomato leaf. It kind of keeps this light blue juice a little strange, but honestly, this one has a defining character that keeps me coming back for more. It's been nothing but a pleasure owning this, and I feel I've got more than my money's worth. I choose this over Acqua di Gio. I really need to seek out the body wash on eBay. Simone Maz says, it smells like clean sheets. AMDDD said, I really don't care for this fragrance. It is what it is. It makes me wish Fragrantica had a third option instead of love, like, and dislike. Something like no opinion or neutral, but you're going to give your opinion anyways. I don't hate this fragrance. I didn't regret wearing it, but I would never wear it again. To me, it smells like a hot, humid backyard in the deep south with that tomato scent. It's wet and full of weeds and dried out yellow grass. Yes, it is sweet, but the sweetness is mixed with star anise. It almost gives a burnt sugar smell. And with the vegetal tomato, the whole thing starts to smell like some Filipino dish like Perez or a Chinese soy sauce poached chicken. Then throw in the synthetic smell of it all. It's just not pleasing. Again, I didn't despise it. I smelled worse, and Cookwater is still my least favorite blue aquatic fragrance. It's something like a stocking stuffer for your middle school aged nephew. It won't really offend anyone. Unorthodox photograph guy said, this was my high school cologne. Was an alcohol bomb, that thing was. Now it's a smell filled with bad memories of some of my exes. This was such a boring scent. It was all over the place. Okay. I was likely one of the many, many, many kids who wore this in high school. What's cringy is one of my exes wears this cologne on her. Oh my God. My girlfriend and I both find the scent generic and her creepy for doing that. And here's his girlfriend. Jerry Reyes, 366, said, if a man walks by me wearing this, I will always have some not so innocent thoughts because this is like an aphrodisiac for me. I know it's silly because it's just a cheap fragrance from the drugstore, but I just cannot help but be put under its spell. This fragrance is clean and bright and very cooling effect in the heat. I'm in heat. I cannot stress enough how much I love it when a man wears this. Michelle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fresh, typical men's cologne smell. Lasts forever. Barrage of notes. Ken H. Adidas Mousse is one of the first fragrances I got to when I was in high school. It's still one of the best sports fragrances with a great fresh smell for warm weather with a nice touch of musk and depth. It's still in my top 10 of all time, and I love wearing this to the gym. I give it a 9.4 out of 10. By G. Byron 3. This was the one. In the early 2000s, this made me grateful for my olfactory senses. My senses have evolved drastically, but this one is as nostalgic as any for me. Clean and sporty, just as it was decades ago, I recommend this to any teenage or young guy or parent looking at gift sets for their teenage young man. AJ, all day. I tried this one out per suggestion of a coworker. I don't think I have the body chemistry to pull this one off. When I initially sprayed it, it had a nice aquatic scent, but about 15 minutes later, it smelled like tomatoes and dirty socks on my skin. Not exactly what I desire to smell like, so I think I'm going to pass on this one. The Centaur said, tried this out because of all the hype in the early 2000s and was disappointed. You get a generic, boring aquatic scent for 2 to 3 hours. If you are lucky, you would be much better off by Azzaro, Chrome Legend, or Nautica Voyage for a sporty, easy-to-wear aquatic on the cheap. A pass, even for those new to fragrance. EQ Morgan said, I have 2 tiny bottles of this. They were from some old gift set and were never used and still sealed. I got it out and thought maybe my tween boys might be able to use them. Tested on myself, 2 sprays in my form. I really understand what others say about the tomato smell. It is also very crisp and almost metallic. Neither myself nor my whipped husband are impressed, even after waiting for the dry down. I have washed my arm 4 times with hand soap and even gained dish detergent, and the smell's still there. Interestingly, when the smell mixed with a coconut scented liquid hand soap, it added some sweetness and was kind of nice. But once the coconut was gone, it was back to nasty. James AQ4. Tomato leaf is not as strong as Pyramid would suggest. It's less than the apple orange notes. Had this over 15 years ago. At the time, my sister called this headache inducing. Honestly, at that time, I liked the fruity synthetic musky smell. To settle the drama, my parents got me Armani Mania for Christmas. It was less potent, but definitely an upgrade. So the scent was nice enough, definitely noticeable. Little sour, little synthetic, very teenage gym scent. In my hierarchy, the fragrances I like are on a few levels, and right below my threshold of wearability lies Fierce and Curve. This is around those, but above Bod and Axe. To be fair, between this or nothing, I'd use a spray or 2 from a distance. MK Punk. Adidas Mousse is the scent I got over Christmas time. I didn't have it in high school since fragrance wasn't big in my house. My mother didn't get much. My father only wears Old Spice, and my brother was limited. I stuck to Axe and Old Spice body sprays, so I missed Adidas Mousse. Maybe that was my mistake. Top 3 things I think of when I smell Adidas Mousse is a sporty, summer, and tomato soup. I don't think anybody has ever said, you know what I want? A fragrance that smells like tomato soup. That's what Adidas Mousse smells like to me. The tomato leaf mixed with greens, mint, and spices, which are pepper and ginger, gives me the feel of tomato soup. The scent is sporty and performs that way. The summer comes from the citrus that pop in with that tomato soup smell. Adidas Mousse is a scent that has performance issues. It lasts 3 hours tops on my skin with little to no projection. It's one I try to count down since the smell don't work. If you like a scent you can reapply and reapply during the day, this is it. Adidas Mousse is a daytime, spring, and summer scent. I know this review isn't going to be popular. It is in disagreement with the majority of reviews that reminisce on how this scent was their first scent in middle school or high school, perhaps as a Christmas gift. As I said, I didn't have this experience. Instead, I look at this how it is. To me, what? Wait. It is a bad smelling fragrance that smells like food you like as a kid, but not often go back to as an adult. I really liked its flanker Move 0.01 Moment of Truth. While this is blah to me. The original Adidas Moves, I give a 3.7 out of 10. I thought, with the only saving grace being is a cool bottle design that is shared with Adidas Move 0.01. Though this one is clear as opposed to blackened. Straight edge. I have kept a bottle of this since the late 90s. In fact, I do believe my girlfriend is going to get me a new bottle for Christmas this year, so I am looking forward to adding the new one to my collection. I will always enjoy this fragrance, no matter how many people attempt to talk trash about it on here. Fresh, cool, clean, cool, and brings with it a great sense of nostalgia. One cannot go wrong with this cologne. Spence, 98. I own a lot of very good designers, such as L'Homme by YSL, Bleu de Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana, The One, Versace, Pour Homme, Lacoste, Pour Homme, Michael Kors, Extreme Blue. Yet this cheap Adidas cologne you can buy for less than $20 still stands out. One of my favorites for sure. Ryan MMAS 26. So, after visiting this years later, I really enjoy this stuff even after experiencing the sense of many niche and higher level designers. This scent is exactly as I remember. It opens up with a sharp but fresh, but also bitter opening that's quite musky as well. The tomato leaf is very noticeable in the beginning, giving this a slightly off-putting note, but after about 15 minutes, the sharpness and bitterness starts to fade, and this starts to become more green, smooth, and almost minty. The dry down is pretty much the same as the heart, but in the dry down, the sharpness completely fades, and you're left with a fresh green apple scent that's very sporty. The dry down is my favorite part of this fragrance. Performance on this, for me, is slightly above average. It lasts on me 4 to 6 hours, but projects very well for the first 2 hours and projects off the skin about a foot for the duration of the fragrance. Overall, an 8 out of 10. Really great scent. A classic from the late 90s, but still a great scent to this day. All right, what the heck is Ryan saying again? He said again. This was previous to the last review. This cologne is the smell of my youth. It was the go-to scent of every guy back in high school, and I remember personally loving this scent. But on my skin, there was some note in there making it really bitter and unappealing. But my brother and his best friends rocked this in high school, and it smelled amazing on them. I must admit, I was jealous, LOL. I ordered this on eBay or off eBay for $5, including shipping, so I'm very curious to see how this smells after not smelling it for a year. I also remember liking the women's version of Adidas Moves as well, as my ex-GF wore it back in the day. So this is his preview of his review. Pretty boy Zoe. I'm 18. Back in 2015, he said this. I'm 18, and anyone around that age range should definitely buy this if they want compliments. It's very sexy, and females love it. Sarah, 954. Bought for my boyfriend. Amazing smell. Very sexy if your guy needs a new scent. Rio Cappuccino said, in my last year of high school, I got this and it took the spotlight on my fourth bottle. All right, Joe 38. Joe 38. This is a great fragrance. The warm summer air conditioning, refreshing and energizes. Significantly increases the conforming feeling. Fresh citrus overture, but bitter earthy accompaniment, which is the tomato leaves. The floral scent chord stabilized but still fresh ginger cedar. Finally, The beautifully calm, woody notes, which can be associated with the feeling of cleansiness, lily of the valley, and oak moss. Absolutely youthful, masculine aura. When you move, must be in the summer, then this is the perfect scent to it. Price, performance, it's the best in this category. Brandon R. said, again, did he? Okay. A million flankers later, and the original leaf finally made it on here. Hello, well, I don't get it. ZB said, bought blindly, smells like shampoo, thought this would be more sporty, energetic. Maybe in a gym would fit, maybe, for any different occasion. Not acceptable. Smell for kids or teenagers. Lisa Rachel, I bought this for my boyfriend just to get him into fragrances, and he loved it. Of course, I couldn't help but indulge in smelling him. Now looking for more manly scents for him. Very good. All right, Captain 1NDR said, this was my signature fragrance in high school. Ah, the nostalgic moments of the 90s. The longevity wasn't so great. My skin would hold it about 4 hours, but I still loved it. The sillage worked to my advantage considering the close quarters of the classrooms. Definitely a decent after-gym class scent. Here is Ciaro. Ciaro said, when one recalls his first love in colognes, it's with either fond nostalgia or just outright regret. I'm happy to say that with Moves, the original Adidas men's fragrance, it's not quite the latter, but the price of a 1.5 ounce of Moves at exclusively Walmart of all places is hardly worth it these days. Well, go on the internet, man. While the clean, soapy, masculine scent with strong citrus and lighter tropical floral notes has become somewhat of a nostalgic alternative to nautical life, the fact remains that this overall longevity of these sporty scents is depressingly short. If you like strong, sexy, citrus notes, stick with colognes worth the purchase price. Like a Zara Chrome, Jean-Paul Gaultier Classique, or Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Zo. As you, for Moves, you can give it to the high school basketball team where it belongs. Why you following me, Ciaro? Stop following me, Ciaro. Oh my gosh. Mr. Myers, 22. Like Wolverine and Lincoln. This is one of my favorite scents of all time. It's just fresh. It only lasts 2 hours on me, but hey, to me, it's just for the gym. I used to wear this in middle school, and surprisingly, still one of my favorite scents ever. I love the scent so much, I bought it just to use as an air freshener. T_Ironhide 46. Time machine takes me back to high school. I still like it now. Doesn't last long, but great for the price. I had a small bottle in my locker at work. Didn't know tomato leaf was part of this back in the day. I can really smell it now, though. Overall, 7 out of 10. Loses points for longevity, gains points for price and versatility. Pablo 90. Love it. Reminds me of my high school days. Wouldn't use it now, though. Maybe just to remember old days. Oposai. I wore this one in high school. Was in love with it, and everybody was using it at the time. Then Curve came in and killed Moves. It is absolutely fresh, but does not project or last any longer than a blink. It was a fragrance for personal enjoyment. Brings back memories. 2746 C Street. Don't dox yourself. A lot of guys must have worn this in high school between 1999 and 2002 because as soon as I found it in my boyfriend's medicine cabinet, I immediately recognized it. She knew a lot of guys. Anyway, it's fairly typical fruity, soapy melange. The apple note is very strong, as is the tomato leaf. In the dry down, I can smell the thyme and lavender, which are probably contributing to the overall soapy impression. The Wistful Maiden said, I believe this is the fragrance one of my first boyfriends wore. It was a nice scent, but he wore too much. I could smell him on my sofa days after he'd sat there, or he'd sat there. Very young man, lacks sophistication, but for a 20 or younger age group, a good choice. Grotola said, sweet. Fragrantica added one of the most important fragrances in my middle school years. And that is a review for this Adidas Moves for Men. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a great day, night, or evening. Goodbye.